These are 20 useful tips every new player needs to know in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the game won't tell you about a lot of these. Take my word for it, I've got nearly 6,000 hours in this game, and I wish I knew these back when I started. These are the tips you're looking for. Number 1, don't spam the jump with infantry. In other games, you can jump around and make yourself harder to hit, but in Battlefront 2, there's actually a movement penalty after 2 consecutive jumps. It kills your momentum, and after 3 jumps, it completely slows you down. Try it next time you're coming out of spawn. Sprint forward, throw a couple of jumps in there, and you'll see just how much you slow down. Heroes can actually get away with spamming the jump because they don't have that movement penalty, but infantry and special units like the Enforcers and the Aerials are affected by this. You want to prioritize strafing in a gunfight, and that's how you avoid fire. You can get away with throwing one side jump in there to throw off their aim and adjust yours, but no more than that. If you have to make a quick escape, use your dodge instead. Number 2, because the game can be played in third person, the crosshair is a little bit weird. It's kind of diagonal, and throw in the fact that the blasters are all projectile weapons and you have to lead your shots, the aiming in Battlefront 2 definitely takes some getting used to. You can change which shoulder perspective you're looking through, either left or right, and depending on which shoulder you're looking over, if you aim just a little bit to that side of your target, you'll actually end up landing more shots. For example, if you're looking over the right shoulder, aim just a little bit to the right of your target, and vice versa for left. Basically, you want to try to line your crosshair up with the very edge of their model, and that's more or less dead center, even though it looks off based on the crosshair. Number 3 goes with this. In your settings, you'll find 2 different sensitivity settings. You have Soldier and Zoomed. Soldier is just hipfire, and Zoomed is obviously ADS, but what I didn't know for the longest time was that the zoomed sensitivity is twice as fast as Soldier. There's no settings like S-curves or other customization options, so it really helps to experiment with different sensitivity settings and find the right combination for you. I'm not kidding when I say this, I highly recommend 100% on both. Maxed out sensitivity, it lets you do the most in this game, but I'm fully aware that takes a lot of getting used to. If you want to eventually get to 100, try going up in increments of 5% every day until you get there. Number 4, going off of that actually, this is useful to know. Troopers and heroes share the same sensitivity settings. One thing that I always wished the developers changed in this game was having 2 separate sensitivities for lightsabers and blasters. Because if you're going to play on 100, that will help your lightsaber game, but it's also going to make it a lot harder to aim the blaster. You could always just keep switching the sensitivity settings depending on which character you're playing, but that gets really tedious and annoying. That's another reason I recommend 100, because if you can get good at that, you won't have to keep changing it. Number 5, aim assist is really strong in this game. If you're on console, you can actually use that to your advantage by tapping the zoom button, and that will help you snap onto a target. If you add in some rotational aim assist, it makes it even stronger, and this is especially useful for snapping onto headshots with snipers or with the assault class. You activate the rotational aim assist by strafing left or right while trying to aim. So when you're trying to line up headshots, you just want to get as close as you can, strafe left or right, and then tap that zoom button and it should snap right onto where you want to shoot. That's the hack for blasters, but there's also a zoom button hack for lightsabers too. When you're blocking with a lightsaber hero, that actually engages the zoomed sensitivity setting because it uses the same button as zoom. That's probably why you feel like you're turning in quicksand when you're blocking with a lightsaber. If you bump up that zoom sensitivity, you'll be able to keep the block up and still turn on a dime. This is how you can get some cheeky hits in behind the back, by dodging through your opponent, engaging the zoomed sensitivity, doing a quick 180, and then getting that shot in. Number 7, this one applies to console players on controller, and also PC players who have a controller hooked up. I recommend using the alternate soldier layout controls. Most other shooters actually have this layout in the settings. Basically, it just swaps the dodge and the melee buttons, so that your dodge is now on the right stick. That way you don't have to take your finger off the camera. You can dodge attacks as needed and smoothly look in the direction you want at the same time. This setting took me way too long to start using, and I have not changed it back since. It's just that helpful. Number 8, and this one is for the players who did not pick up the Celebration Edition. The Celebration Edition gives you all the cosmetics in the game, except for the few that you have to grind for. But if you didn't pick it up, you're going to have to grind credits to purchase all of the in-game cosmetics. The Blast mode and Ewok Hunt modes are the highest credit payout game modes in Battlefront 2. It's the most credit for the least amount of time played. You can get the same or similar credit payouts in matches of Galactic Assault or Supremacy, but those matches last so long. If you're trying to play for maximum credit with minimal time, play Ewok Hunt or Blast. Likewise, for number 9, if you're trying to grind levels, co-op mode is the single best mode for farming levels. Max level is 1000 for every class, vehicle, and hero, so it's definitely a grind to max everything out. I've been playing basically since day 1 and I still don't have everything maxed. But co-op really helps with that grind. Every Wednesday is triple XP, so that's the best day to play co-op. If you miss Wednesdays, there's also double XP during the weekends, but if you're grinding for levels, play co-op. Number 10, reload in the middle of a dodge. So because the blasters in Battlefront work off of a heat mechanic and not ammunition, it's a good idea to cool the blaster down after every single kill. But something I want you to get used to is cooling down your blaster and dodging away at the exact same time. This has become muscle memory for me at this point, where as soon as I get a kill, I'm cooling down the blaster and dodging away to reset. There's a brief window while you dodge where you're invincible to melee attacks and you take reduced damage from shots, so it's the perfect opportunity to hit a reload and get ready for the next fight. Number 11 is controlled button mashing. Sounds weird, but hear me out. Battlefront 2 is a clunky game, and it's got a good amount of input delay. It's also really easy to interrupt inputs with other actions, like when you're getting hit in the face with a lightsaber, for example. Sometimes you'll hit a button and it just won't do what you want, for whatever reason. Button mashing is usually bad form in other games, but in Battlefront 2, it's almost a necessary evil because of the input delay and the interruptions. I'll use the dodge as an example. If I'm getting attacked by a Jedi or Sith, I'll mash that dodge button 4 or 5 times really quick just to guarantee that I get my dodge input in there. I don't want to overcommit to it. Basically, when I see the dodge animation begin, I know that I've got it, and I need to either get my aim ready or queue up a second dodge. Controlled button mashing is not a bad thing here. Major emphasis on controlled. You don't want to get carried away. It's just to make sure the input registers. Number 12, and this one could use an entire video all by itself, but don't spend all of your skill points on the first few star cards you unlock. Some cards are better than others in this game. Instead, it might be worth it to upgrade a single good card or just save up until you have enough skill points to max out everything. That's why I say this needs an entire video just to itself, because I can go down the list of cards and say, okay, this one's good, that one sucks, this one's great. For the purposes of this video, any star card that boosts damage, gives you an additional dodge, increases stamina, or increases your health is good. Stick with those. Number 13, the kill feed in the top right corner can give you a lot of valuable information. In the hero modes, for example, it tells you which of your teammates go down so that you'll know exactly when you have backup and when you're rushing straight into a 4 versus 1 beatdown. Feed gets color-coded so that you can easily tell which side is getting kills. If you see a lot of red in the feed, that tells you right away a chunk of your team just died. It'll eventually become habit to just glance up there every now and again. Plus, it looks very satisfying when you get a big multi-kill. Number 14, lightsaber heroes are very strong leaders in the large-scale game modes. Killstreak videos were a genre on YouTube themselves a couple years back, and going on long kill streaks is still really satisfying today. Lightsaber attacks always do anywhere from 120 to 150 damage, so if you're hunting troopers in Galactic Assault or Supremacy, always remember that basic troops have 150 to 200 HP. They're a simple 2-shot for any lightsaber hero. They can still dodge away, but as soon as that second hit connects, just move on to the next troop. I bring it up because it's easy to get caught up in the button mashing like we talked about and overcommit, which is when you'll get caught. So just remember, 2 hits is usually all it takes for most troops. Double tip, you do bonus damage if you hit them in the back, so you can one-shot assaults, officers, and specialists. And if you equip Sith trained on General Grievous or massive strikes on Anakin, that will also one-shot most troopers. Minus heavies, of course. Number 15, and you'll learn this the hard way. Some maps suck in this game, especially in the hero modes. Kashyyyk, the First Order Star Destroyer, and Bespin are all infamous in the community for being hell maps because of all the spots you can fall off the edge. Some heroes like Luke, Maul, Kylo Ren, and Anakin love these maps because they can push or pull their targets over the edge and get some free kills. When you're playing on these maps, unless you're going for those ledge kills, You want to always be aware of your position and just how close you are to the edge, because all it takes is one knock before you're doing your best Palpatine impression. It's actually a good time to talk about knocks. Number 16. Knocks and stuns are the bread and butter abilities of a lot of heroes. A knock is basically just when you get hit by a force push or a pull or any other ability that knocks you over and leaves you vulnerable to a follow-up hit. Stuns are just that. You get hit by a shock grenade or a droid that stuns you and you're immobilized for a second. Both ability types are really powerful, but the knock is arguably better because there's actually stun immunity in this game. If you get stunned, you're safe from another stun for about a second and a half. That way you can't just be immobilized forever until you're dead. However, there's no immunity to being knocked down once you're on the ground. If you get knocked once, you can get juggled by other knock abilities really easily. It starts with Anakin's pull, then Luke repulses you, then Rey dash strikes into you, Anakin hits you with heroic might, then Han Solo detonates his bomb in your face and you just have to eat it. Lesson being, don't get knocked. Number 17, the lightsaber block is really strong, especially with a character like Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's got really strong defensive stamina, but there are block breakers in Battlefront 2. A few heroes have abilities that go right through a lightsaber block and deal damage. The last hit of Kylo Ren's Frenzy, Anakin's Passionate Strike, and Yoda's Dash Attack are the three most commonly used ones, but any explosive ability, like Leia Grenades or Han Bomb, will also go through a block. Chewbacca is also disrespectful to lightsaber villains because his shots have an explosive splash damage AoE effect that still hits them even though they're blocking. It's amazing. Chewbacca main here. I love Chewbacca. Number 18, in the large-scale game modes, it's always a race to get 4,000 battle points first so that you can play as a hero. The officer class is going to be your best friend here since it easily farms battle points with its middle ability. At the start of the match, when your whole team is grouped up together, you can hit that ability and get all your teammates in the radius for a quick burst of points. And equipping the Bounty Hunter star card will get you 20% bonus points too. If you want to play as a hero in Galactic Assault or Supremacy, get good with the officer. Number 19, and I'm including this tip as a reminder to myself too. This game is 100% a casual game. There is no ranked mode, there's no leaderboard. It's all for fun and whatever goals you set for yourself. That's why there really isn't a good reason to let this game get to your head if it's not going well. The game is clunky, it's laggy, sometimes things just happen and no amount of skill can save you from it, so it's best to just learn to roll with the punches. Yes, it can be very frustrating, but it's one of those games where you just have to experience a lot of the bullshit so that you can learn how to counter said bullshit. And number 20, not necessarily saving the best for last, but this is a useful tip. Turn motion blur off in the settings. I can't give you a scientific reason for this one. All I can tell you is that motion blur messes with my game. It makes the hitboxes funky, it makes the visuals funky. Just trust me on this. Turn this setting all the way to 0 and never touch it again. And those are 20 genuinely useful tips in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like I said, I wish I knew a lot of these coming into the game when I first started because it would have given me a huge jump start. If you have any other questions about the game, let me know in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. If you found this video or any of the tips in it helpful, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. That tells YouTube I'm doing a good job. And if you want to stay in the loop with more Battlefront 2 content, consider subscribing. I've got a huge back catalog of content when I used to make videos on this game years ago. The Battlefront 2 Renaissance feels nice, man. It feels like we're back in the glory days. But that's it from me, guys. Thanks for tuning into the video. This has been Star. Stay stellar. Keep shining, baby.